The rule was given before the sails were raised. No laughter followed it. No questions either. The captain stood at the center of the deck, hands resting on the railing, eyes fixed not on the crew, but on the water beyond the hull. His voice was calm, measured, as if he were explaining something ordinary. "No one looks over the side," he said. "Not at night, not in calm seas, not even if you hear something." The men exchanged glances. Rules were common aboard pirate ships. This one felt different. Someone laughed, quietly. It died quickly. The ship pushed away from the island as the sun lowered. The water darkened sooner than expected, swallowing light until the sea looked less like a surface and more like depth without bottom. By nightfall, the hull began to creak, not the familiar sound of wood under strain, but something slower, rhythmic, as if something below matched the ship's movement exactly. A sailor leaned on the rail, peering downward without crossing the edge. The captain's voice cut through the dark. "Eyes forward." The sailor obeyed. From below came a sound that was almost a voice. Almost. The ship continued on, and no one slept. The sea was calm when it happened. Too calm. The sails hung heavy. The stars reflected so clearly in the water that it became difficult to tell where the sky ended and the sea began. The ship drifted as if unsure which direction it belonged to. No one spoke. The crew moved carefully, eyes fixed on ropes, on planks, on anything that was not the edge. Except Tomas. He had been on ships since childhood. Storms did not frighten him. Darkness did not either. What unsettled him was silence, the kind that waits. "I just want to see," he muttered. The man beside him shook his head. "Don't." Tomas stepped closer to the rail. The captain did not turn around. The water below was not empty. It moved differently than the rest of the sea. Not in waves, in slow, deliberate shifts, as though something vast adjusted its position beneath the surface. Tomas leaned forward. The moment his eyes met the water, his body relaxed. His shoulders dropped, his breath slowed. A faint smile crossed his face. He did not shout. He did not reach out. He climbed, one foot over the rail, then the other. The crew froze. No one moved to stop him. Tomas looked back once. Not at them, at the captain. The captain's jaw tightened. Then Tomas jumped. There was no splash. The water closed smoothly, as if welcoming him. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then the ship creaked again. The same slow rhythm. Below the hull, something shifted, and the sea went quiet once more. After Tomas vanished, the crew stopped pretending. No one spoke his name. No prayers were said. Sailors understood loss, but this was different. Tomas had not been taken. He had gone willingly. The captain ordered the body count marked as if it were ordinary. One line scratched into the ledger. One fewer ration. One fewer voice on deck. The ship sailed on. At night, the water changed. It no longer reflected the stars. Instead, it swallowed them. Looking out across the sea felt like staring into a hole cut through the world. Men began to hear things. Not words, not clearly. A tone. Low, patient, familiar. It seemed to rise from beneath the hull, vibrating through the planks, settling into bones. The sound matched the ship's movement perfectly, as if whatever lived below knew the rhythm of every wave. The crew avoided the rails now. Even glancing sideways felt dangerous. Eyes stayed down. Hands shook. One sailor swore he felt fingers brush the keel. Another claimed the water followed him in his dreams. The captain said nothing. He stood watch every night, unmoving, eyes fixed ahead, never down. The sea could have risen and swallowed the ship whole, and he would not have looked. On the fourth night after Tomas, another man slowed near the rail. No panic, no struggle, just curiosity. The crew shouted. Someone grabbed his arm. Too late. The man smiled, soft, relieved, and slipped free. Again, no splash. Again, the same slow creak beneath the hull. After that, the ship felt crowded with absence. Each man left behind felt heavier, as if the weight of those gone pressed inward. The water's tone grew clearer now, closer to something that resembled a call. And the captain's silence began to feel like a confession. The crew stopped asking questions, not because they trusted the captain, but because the answers felt worse than ignorance. Still, truth has a way of rising, like something long held beneath the surface. On the seventh night, when the sea lay flat as dark glass, the youngest sailor followed the captain to the bow. "You know," the boy said. His voice shook, but he did not look toward the rail. "You knew this would happen?" The captain did not turn. "Yes," he answered. That single word settled heavier than any confession. He spoke slowly, choosing each sentence as if it carried weight. Years ago, before this ship bore scars and missing names, he had commanded another vessel. The voyage had been longer, supplies thinner, morale fragile. One night, someone leaned over the side. They smiled. They jumped. At first, the captain believed it was madness. Fear, hunger, seasickness of the mind. Then another followed, and another, until curiosity forced him to break his own command. He looked. What he saw was not a creature, not a body, it was a presence. Vast, patient, endless. Something that did not reach upward, did not chase or strike. It waited, and in the waiting, it showed something impossible. Peace. Not promises, not lies, an end to struggle, to fear, to wanting. The captain tore his eyes away and ordered the sails raised at dawn. He burned charts, changed routes, gave a single rule that mattered more than any other. Do not look, because the sea did not take men. It convinced them. The young sailor listened, pale and silent. "And why haven't you jumped?" he asked. The captain's hands tightened on the rail, because someone has to keep their eyes forward. That night, the sea grew quieter than ever, as if listening. Dawn never truly came. The horizon lightened, but the sun stayed hidden behind a pale veil, as if the sky itself refused to witness what followed. Only the captain remained on deck. The crew was gone, not taken in a rush, not claimed in panic. One by one, through the night, the water had called them. Each time, the captain heard footsteps slow near the rail. Each time, he spoke the same words without turning. Eyes forward. No one listened. Now the ship drifted alone, sails loose, ropes unmanned. The sea was perfectly still. Not a single wave touched the hull. The sound beneath the ship grew clearer. Not louder, closer. It felt as though the water rose to meet the captain's presence, lifting itself toward his shadow. The invitation was no longer subtle. It did not need to be. He stepped to the center of the deck and stood there, hands clasped behind his back. He had always known how this would end. The rule was never meant to save the crew. It was meant to delay the moment when no one remained to enforce it. The captain closed his eyes, not in fear, in discipline. The sea waited. Minutes passed, or hours. Time no longer mattered. The ship creaked once, the same slow rhythm that had followed them since the island. Beneath it, the presence shifted, patient as stone. The captain did not move. He did not look. When the wind finally rose, it pushed the empty ship forward, away from the silent water that had claimed so many. The captain stood alone until the horizon swallowed the sea behind him. And beneath the surface, something ancient waited for the next pair of curious eyes, unmoving, unforgotten.